How many years have you been in prison?
You know what? Tomorrow is going to be exactly 32 years. With tomorrow.
How did you do it knowing that you are innocent?
Everybody asking me that question. You know what? I had to put my faith in God from the beginning. But even I blame God for what happened to me in my first 3 or 4 years. And later, I find out, the thing happens sometimes for a reason. And I just put on my faith. My biggest fear was to die in prison, not fighting. That was my biggest fear. I say I cannot allow that to happen to me.
Not fighting to get out.
Yeah. And I got the strength to understand that the district attorney office at that time, they already do what they did, and it was my part now to fight with everything I can, to prove that I don't do this crime.
What would you say was your darkest moment, your worst moment over those 32 years, the hardest moment you had?
It was my first 1 or 2 years. The most thing that I remember is, I remember, that I ended in Pelican Bay, the most tough prison in California. And I remember, that every night I had to cover myself, with the blanket, and I had to close my eyes real tight. And I say, you know what, this is a dream. When I open my eyes, I go and be home. This cannot be happening to me. And I repeated the same process all the time. But every time that I open my eyes, I was in the cell. Until I say, you know what? If I don't stop doing this, I go and get crazy. My mind is gone. And I say, I cannot keep doing this, like punishing myself on my own. So after that, thank God, I started, looking people, going to the law library, trying to understand the law, how the law working. And that was my second home, the law library. I always been in the law library after I get out from work. I don't spend too much time, in a table playing domino, because I know all that was designed, to keep me and to keep inmate, out of do the good fight.
So you mentioned that you try to tell yourself that everything happens for a reason, which is really hard probably for somebody who's been wrongfully imprisoned for 32 years. But what do you think the reason was?
Well, when you say, everything happened for a reason, that means you have to understand the God purpose. Maybe God gave this to me, to see how much I can take. And when I read the Bible, a lot of time, I understand, that a lot of people in the Bible, they pass through for a real difficult moment. So I'm trying to convince myself to say, you know what? This has to be approved, for me to prove myself, and I will do my best, to prove that I'm not going to give it out.
What about when you found out that you were getting out? What was that like? How did you find out, and what were you thinking?
I find out today.
Today?
Yes, I still got out into today when the judge said it from his mouth. You see, you have to understand, when you in this fight, I've been denied more than 100 times. So I don't believe in nothing no more. Even when my lawyer told me, Joaquin, we got it. We got it. But I still got a little doubt in my mind and say, you know what? No. I have to listen, from the judge's mouth. When I listen for his mouth, that's when I go and feel completely, satisfied.
Well, what did you feel when you realized it was happening?
It was unbelievable. You cannot describe it, that feeling. For me to describe that feeling to you, it is no word. It is like you're born again. Like your whole life is starting again. It is a special moment. It is like, when you have your first child, and you see your first child, born, it's a strong feeling.
Speaking of which, you have a grown child now who
you
missed basically everything. So what is the first thing you're going to do when you're out?
Walk with him. Walk with him. Stay with him by myself with him. Make sure that I can help him, with his way, because I got a son, that he weigh too much. And I have to do something for my son, to make sure that I help him, in be healthy. Be healthy. In the other hand, thank God, that he really, don't take this, the state to be in trouble with the law. He's a hard working, But yeah, we're going to have a long conversation. I think that we're not going to sleep. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm sure you have some stories to tell, but what do you think you're going to do with your life? And what are you going to take from this experience into your new life, if anything?
Well, with my new life, you see, when you spend too much time in prison, almost 3 decades, you started to be a little antisocial. You really don't want to be around people no more. You really want, to exclude yourself, from a lot of people. You are afraid to be around a lot of people, because you think that you don't want this to be repeated never again. And that's my main thing, I want to be with my family, just be in a place, that the people that be around me is my family, the people that I trust. But in the other hand, I know I got an obligation to tell my story. I got an obligation to tell people how did I make this. How did I go all the way to the end without lose my mind.
Did you ever think there were times that you weren't going to survive it?
No.
No?
No, because I find some innocent people in prison that I know they was innocent, like me.
Now, you think there are people there now?
Oh yeah, no question. And some of these people that I find, we have to talk, about our case. And I know they was innocent. But 1 or 2 or 3 years later, they started talking by themselves. They walking in the yard and they don't even know who they are no more. I know that for a fact. And I said, man, I cannot end it like that. I cannot end it that way. I can't. For my family, for my son, I can't. But some people, they might go.
They lost their mind.
They lost their mind. They lost their mind and they take all his legal paper. They destroyed it, flushing in the toilet. And they say, you know what, man, I can't. Every time that I put something in the court, it's denied. And
do you think that now that you're getting out, that you are going to try to do something to help people who are in the position that you were in?
Yes,
like
definitely, yeah.
What will you do?
Well, I will, with my job, whatever, do donation to make the law improve. You see, I want to make something clear that I know without no question in my mind. If we don't have the district attorney officer that we got right now, and we got the innocent commissioner, I know this never be positive. The only reason why it be positive is because the district attorney that we have, his agenda is about justice. He don't play politics. It's about justice. So the innocent commissioner, when they decided to review my case, they do a heavy investigation in my case. And they come out and they say, you know what? What happened here is not supposed to happen. So they recommended to the district attorney. And thank God, you know, that the district attorney do the right thing.
Are you angry?
In my beginning, yes.
At who?
To the whole system. I be angry to the whole system. I say, you know what, this system is corrupt. You know, everything right here in San Francisco is poison. But my anger, I started to learning that when you're angry for so long, it can cause you, you know, sickness inside. So I started to let it go. You know, I had to start to let it go. You know, because I know we got the tendency, you know, only to see when we sick what is outside. But inside, when you angry about something or you hate something, you get sick too. You know? And I started to say, you know what? No. Frustrated, yeah. But angry, not anymore.
Not even now. After 32 years.
After 32 years, not even now. Not even now. You got a moment where you decided not to be angry no more. But you frustrated because what happened is seriously. You know, I lose 32 years of my life, you know. But what can I gain by me being angry for many years?
I think a lot of people would understand if you were.
No doubt that a lot of people will understand. Yeah, of course, a lot of people will understand. Remember, we got the right to be angry. No question about it. All human beings got the right to be angry about anything that was done wrong to you. But me, myself, when I was in Folsom, I started to go to a program that they call centered prayer. You see, centered prayer show you how to meditate and letting go. Thank God that I was in that program, you know, because that program showed me how to meditate, how to be in silence, you know, for 40, 50 minutes with no noise and let anger go. That helped me a lot.
You think so?
Yeah, no question about it. Centered prayer is a class of meditation that is wonderful.
I heard you like food and that you were looking forward to that you were looking forward to eating.
I don't know how you find out that.
I want to ask, what is the first thing that you want to eat when you get out?
Oh.
You're Cuban. Do you want Cuban
Yeah,
food?
I know. I want some black beans.
Ropa vieja.
Ropa vieja.
Maduro.
Plátano maduro frito.
Yeah.
You know, ensalada, you know, salad with avocado, you know, tomato. Yeah, I like, you know, I like my food. I like
Oh, I'm sure you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just want to ask, you know, are you nervous at all? Are you scared about this new life? I mean, it's totally.
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Yes, I do. It's a lot of things changing in 32 years.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm afraid. That's why I want to be around the people that love me. You know, because I know I cannot be afraid, you know, about the people, you know, that support me all these years.
What do you think when you sit down and think about what's going to happen next? What do you think makes you the most nervous?
the most nervous is walking in the street, sitting, and be impressed of what I see, and people look at me like, what's wrong with this guy? Where he coming from? You know, but what they don't understand me, you know, where I coming from.
Yeah.
Because I cannot have a sign right here to say where I'm coming from, and that's why I'm impressed, you know, to see, you know, how San Francisco is today. You know, it's too many things that I go and be impressed. You know, it is like I'm born again.
Yeah.
So that's my big feel. You know, the people look at me like I'm a stupid. Or
Because you're looking at everything going, wow.
wow, you know. So remember, what is for you is normal that you see every day. It's not going to be that way for me. You know, I go and be impressed with any little thing that you go and say, dang, what they do to him.
Like a kid.
Yeah,
Like
you know,
a kid.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.